morning, people. How are we doing? I'm just getting warmed up as the podcast starts in about an hour and a half. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see Jack. I haven't seen him since the last evening of Dear Evan Hansen. So this is going to be such a lovely thing to do. And actually, when I started TikTok and I started all of that, one of my main goals was to be on podcasts and talk about stuff. And this is one of those podcasts. It's a sports podcast. So I'm talking about football, I'm talking about the NFL, I'm talking about TikTok, I'm talking about my famalam. I've never said that in my life. But after the podcast, we're going to then go on to doing our voiceovers again. I know, tedious, but it has to be done because I need to get back to TikTok at some point. As you can probably tell when I'm actually standing in this room, it is quite echoey. So I might have to put a towel over my head and just get on with it later on. And then, yeah, I'm seeing Naomi for a drink, which will be so lovely because I haven't seen her, as I mentioned on yesterday's vlog, for so long. So long. But at the moment, I'm going through the questions that Jack asked me ages ago, that I looked at them briefly, kind of thought about answers, but needed to have like a proper think. So I'm just going through that now. It is currently 11:30. The podcast starts at 1. I would like to get some food before then and maybe do some tidying up because if I'm on a Zoom, I don't want this or this atrocity in the back of my video because this is like my first podcast that it's the first podcast I've ever been on. It is the first podcast I've ever been on. There were 2 huge tower blocks owned by the same people, and on one of them they had a Super Bowl party. Oh yeah, you need to go and do a live podcast. And it was like the best atmosphere, and then they were like, our season's changing, guys, our season's changing. I looked like the next day, I was like, no, it's not, you're back losing. And so, like, my first ever game that I went to was Arsenal v Everton at Highbury. I'm gonna go, oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with, wait, now, how many episodes are in extras? I've never seen it. Blink once for number 1, Blink 2 for number 2. So the podcast has just finished. I had such a good time. That's actually like my first proper podcast that's actually gone out to the world. Well, it's not gone out yet, but it was a podcast about sport. It was a podcast about musicals and performing, and it was just such a lovely thing to do. And I kind of just sat there for, how long was it, an hour? Speaking about football and NFL and Durham. I just had such a good time. So thank you, Jack and Rob, for that. I wouldn't have wanted to go on any other podcast to start off my podcast journey, I guess. I'm now going to cook some food. Except all of my food is in the freezer and I forgot to take it out last night when I got home because I was too tired and I just wanted to sleep. Oh, I edited as well. I went live on TikTok and edited while I was on live, which was very exciting. Ah! Chicken dippers! Yeah! I mean, who doesn't love chicken nuggets? I can't remember the clip I just recorded, but I've now just done one video for the moment just to see distance from the microphone and all of that because I think I've now got it down to a good point where I can put out a video. It's not the best, but it sounds good, it looks good, it's exactly good timing, so I don't mind about that. I've just got to redo the other ones tomorrow. I'm meeting up with my mate Stevie, who will obviously be on the vlog. I think we're going to go bowling and stuff at Stratford, but that's not until like 5. I think he's coming down to London, so I've got the whole day tomorrow. So each week with these vlogs, I'm going to give you a snippet of news from the theatre world, whether that be a cast change, whether that be a Broadway transfer, whether that be a show closing, whether that be a show opening. I'm going to give you like a little snippet of news each week just to keep you updated with the theatre world and what's going on, because there is a lot changing. And on this first episode of Theatre, what shall I call it? Theatre News Weekly, Women in Black is closing after 33 years at the Fortune Theatre, which is just off Covent Garden. Oh, I'm out of focus again. Basically, it's been at the Fortune for 33 years. It's ending next March or May. Either one. I think it's the start of the month, yeah. So whatever month it is, it's the start of the month. But I'm actually really excited for the show to come off. Not that I don't like the show, but it's just one of those shows that it's been on for a long, long time, and that's such a good space for a new show to come in. And I think it's going to become like a theatre where touring shows are going to go. There's going to be a show in there for like 6 weeks, and that will be it. And they'll keep rotating, and there'll be new things in, because at the moment, the heavyweights of the West End aren't going anywhere. So the fact that Women in Black actually is announced that it's coming off is a big shock to a lot of people. We shall see what goes in, but I will keep you updated with all of the theatre news. Currently in London, there is a tube strike. Quiver just said to me that it took her 2 hours to get home this afternoon from South London. I just looked. My normal route should take me 7 minutes on the tube. Not even that, 5 I think, less than that. It's 2 stops to where I'm going. And now I've got to, because of the tube strike, got to go away from where I'm going to then come back in. So it's going to take me around 45 minutes. And it should really be about a 7-minute journey. Due to the tube strikes, I'm really struggling to get home. I'm absolutely fine, but I've had to come outside of Liverpool Street to Farringdon and then go back in. But when I was at Liverpool Street, they told me there was no more services. So I came out to Farringdon and there's a tube. So it's going back the way that I just came. I'm just hoping that I can get back to somewhere near home. I look like I've been duffed up. It's just a spot. That is so annoying. So I'm officially home. Basically, that journey that should have taken me 9 minutes took me 48. I've never really experienced a tube strike before because of where I was. I could just walk into town. Unfortunately, now that I've moved, that was horrendous. And like, the reason that I missed my tube when I got to Liverpool Street was because someone pushed me out the way to get on the tube. Not okay. I don't know what's wrong with people, but because that person pushed me out the way, I didn't get on the tube, which is just annoying. It was so nice to see Naomi tonight because we had so much to catch up on, like her life, my life, friends' life, that people have got married, people have had kids, and also Naomi's sister is currently working with Mum on Ocean at the End of the Lane, so that was lovely as well to hear kind of all about the rehearsals and stuff. Not that I don't text Mum, but I just know that she's busy, so it's nice to kind of find out through Naomi how rehearsals are going. But I'm going to get down to editing while watching the new episode of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. If you don't already know, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is a British show where they send celebrities into a jungle in Australia, take away their phones, take away social media, basically put them back to basics. And they compete in trials to get food for camp. They also can, they get voted off. And this year, Matt Hancock, the MP, the health secretary, has gone into the camp, which has caused the internet to go into chaos. Everyone's voting for him to go on every trial. The trials are not nice. So the fact that he's going to get voted onto every single trial is just hilarious, and I need to see it desperately. But for the time being, thank you for coming on these adventures, and I'll see you later.